First, what's the best way to find out what women in farming really think? Well, for one researcher at Exeter University, the answer to that is to cycle a wiggly route from Land's End to Gretna Green and talk to female farmers on the way. Veronica White set off in April, and this weekend, 2,000 miles later, she should reach the end of this epic journey. I spoke to her as she sheltered from the wind in a shower block on a Cumbrian campsite and asked her what she's found out.
I knew I wanted to speak to women in farming communities across England because obviously farming is so varied and so different in different parts of the country. And I never learned how to drive because my family didn't have a car growing up in the Netherlands. And so actually cycling for me is one of the easiest ways to get out to all these farms across the country. I decided to go up through the southwest and then over to East Anglia, and then up north, and then finishing here in Cumbria. And the reason I wanted to do that was really to get that diversity in farming types.
So, who have you met and what have you found out?
I've met over 50 farmers, or 50 women in farming communities across the country, from small scale market gardeners all the way up to large scale industrial horticulture, arable, and dairy farmers. And my interviews have been focused on the past, present, and future of farming, and really what's their vision for a positive future. What would that look like? And some of the things that have come out of that are to do around education, so trying to educate the public around the importance of backing British farmers and buying locally grown food, and trying to move towards more kind of nature-friendly farming practices, and then finally trying to move towards a kind of more food security, self-sufficiency approach from the government to ensure that we're able to feed ourselves into the future.
Why did you concentrate mainly on women? Because those, to be honest, are views that you can find from all sorts of different farmers across the country.
Yeah, no, that's true. I decided to focus on women just because a lot of the research in the past, kind of looking at visions for the future, the participants have predominantly been middle-aged white men across industry, government, and academia. So I really wanted to try and get different voices and different perspectives.
This is all towards your PhD. What impact do you hope that might have once you've written it all up?
Yeah, so I'm hoping it will be able to help diversify these images of the future for farming and food production. Right now, if you put into Google Images, future farming, a lot of the images you see are these very high-tech, farmerless images, of drones and vertical farming. And those were not the kind of visions that were being described by my participants. My participants want a future that have thriving rural economies where farmers are respected and able to grow food. So I'm hoping that opening up these different visions, we can start to think more broadly about what futures we hope to achieve.
Veronica White.